I get the vibe. When you go to the CrossFit workout, you're like, I'm going to fucking win today. Like, is that the energy you're bringing?
You can say it. None of them are listening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tim, tell me something good.
We are now partnered with Eleiko.
The premium weightlifting equipment?
Eleiko is known for having the best bars, the best bumpers, but that's not all they have.
What else they got, Tim?
You can outfit an entire home gym. They have lifting sets, platforms, weight benches, racks, rigs, wrist wraps, chalk, lifting belts, cables, storage, flooring, strength machines. They've really got it all.
Where can I find all this stuff?
Head over to eleiko.com/coachemup.
And now, back to the show.
Welcome to the Coach 'em Up podcast. I'm Tim Riley. I'm joined, as almost always, with Zack Zillner.
I'm back.
We're so happy to have you back, dude.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, my back does hurt from carrying the team, but
Yeah, it should. Last Sunday, Tim put on a barn burner of a performance.
I did two back-to-back. CeCe Murray and Luca Hovasher. I fucked his last name up too. By the way, incredible conversation with both of them. Luca is the coolest.
Oh, he's the best.
You're gonna have FOMO.
I chauffeured him around Saturday.
Yeah.
And him just going over everything he does is like, Tim's gonna have a lot of fun with
Yeah.
this one.
Well, he's another one of those guests that was like, surprise, we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a history and background.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, enough about those two. We're joined today by Kaitlyn Johnson. Kaitlyn, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here. And, admittedly, I told her this. I approached her in the gym, okay, in the non-creepiest way possible, and told her my client stopped me. She said, watch this girl do this. And I look over just in time to watch her jerk 175 over her head like it was a fucking pencil. It was very
That's what he
impressive.
told me. He's like, we're gonna have Kaitlyn Johnson on. He's like, check out this video. And it's you training like a psycho. And I was like, tight, she's gonna
Hell
fit
yeah,
right in.
she's gonna fit right in, dude.
I will say that's like the only thing I'm good at. So you caught me at a good moment.
Is that
Anything overhead, I'm good. But if you would see me squatting, you'd be like, we don't need her on the show.
Good, I'm glad we're not working out
nothing
together
special.
though.
well? Then it was just meant to be.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so I know who you are. Zack knows who you are now. And maybe not all of our listeners know who you are. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your athletic background, and what you're up to now?
I am from about an hour south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I just moved to Austin 2 months ago, yesterday.
Whoa.
Yeah, so.
Is that recent?
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
Dude, welcome.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome
I love
to
it
the best
here.
show on
I'm
earth.
loving it. Yes.
Yeah.
I started swimming when I was 4, and I just finished
Wow.
Olympic trials, my second Olympic trials this summer. So a little bit different than my first time around training as a swimmer. This time I got there training through CrossFit. So
Wow.
yeah.
So on your Instagram page, see, I had a feeling she was going to do this. 28-time All-American. What
Yeah,
the fuck? You're
kinda
just not
glosses over
gonna.
that.
You're gonna just skipped over that. Can we talk about your collegiate career? First of all, okay, you started swimming when you were 4.
Yes.
And then what did the process look like? Take me up through like what high school looked like for you. What did training look like for you? Were you just swimming all the time? And then transitioning into college.
So I didn't come from a very large like swimming area like Pittsburgh. Pennsylvania is a huge swimming state, but where I was from, there weren't a whole lot of like talented kids around if I wanted to stay in my area. Like I could have traveled. I tried going to like Pittsburgh, like I was traveling an hour to like practice, and that just ended up not being like the thing with school and everything. So I stayed where I was, kind of trained with what I had. So I always, like I said, I was on the swim team when I was 4, but YMCA swimming, you can like train up and like compete up.
Nice.
So like I'd swam for so long and I was pretty good and like trained with kids older than me. So I always like raced older kids. Like I'd move up in the age group and race the older kids. So I was always kind of like the underdog, which was fun. But so then started looking at colleges, and I had some Division I offers, but with school and stuff, I just felt like I would personally do better at a smaller school. Didn't want to get lost in the sea of classes and stuff.
I definitely
Might
got
have not
lost.
finished my
I got
swimming
lost.
career.
I got so lost. I never finished.
I mean, I probably would have finished school, but I don't know if swimming would have been a thing had I gone to like a bigger school.
Yeah, you're gonna fit
so-
right in on this show.
So ended up, it was funny because we had our state meets and stuff at Clarion University, which is where I ended up going, growing up. And I hated that pool, hated that place. So they ended up recruiting me and I was like, I don't even want to go on this recruit trip. Like, I hate that place. I'm not going there. My mom was like, just go. Like, I really liked the coach. So I went, loved the girls, loved the coaches, ended up committing there. And it was like 2.5 hours away from home. So it was like enough to like get away and like make new friends, do this without like going home, wanting to go home all the time and like getting into that.
And if the wheels come off, you are still 2 hours away from home. Right.
Yeah. So it ended up being like the perfect scenario. And so like college, I went to states, like did well, placed at states in that, but was never like a state champion or anything like that. I was always like runner up, this and that. So it wasn't until I got to college that I really started training and had like a coach that like knew what to do with my swimming ability. Like I never had like, I don't want to say I didn't have a good coach, but I didn't have was never really pushed.
There's levels to coaching.
Yeah.
Just it is what it is.
Yeah. So I didn't really start training until I got to college. So I ended up dropping like a ton of time, like between when I got there and when I left, like crazy amount of time. Like people are always like, why didn't you transfer to like Division I? But like I said, I just had like a really great experience where I was. So stayed there. But so again, just like went in like wanting to prove myself because I always wanted to be a state champion, never was. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to like crush this. So I immediately went in and was able to be on all the relays. And times, like you just have to make a certain time to make NCAAs. So I was lucky enough, like was on all the relays. So you can swim 4 individual events and 3 relays at NCAAs.
Okay.
So all 4 years I was on all the relays and swam all the events and placed in all of them. So it wasn't just me that got, like, I had really great teammates as well. Like the relays were most of that. So I was very fortunate to have like a great group of girls throughout my 4 years that got me to that. Because the coach that recruited me is actually the only other woman or swimmer in general at Clarion University who has a 28-time All-American status.
Jeez.
So that was like pretty cool to share that with her who like recruited me. And I still have like a really good relationship with her. So that's been fun. But it wasn't really until like my senior year that I realized, oh shit, like, this, if I can like seal the deal here, like I can be like a 28-time All-American. So it was like never really something I thought about throughout my career.
Yeah.
But then it ended up being like a pretty cool accolade to have. So
it's a very cool accolade.
Yeah.
If I had that accolade, I would have it in like an iced out chain.
Oh,
yeah. Or like,
big
like
tattoo.
A neck tattoo.
Yeah. Neck. 28 spots.
28X. And people would be like, what the fuck is that? It's like, well, I'm
How much
actually
time
really
you got?
happy you asked. Yeah. That's why I have the tattoo.
Yeah.
So that is astounding. It is. I'm interested to know, so you talked about the difference between how things went for you from a coaching perspective in high school, dropping all this time off in college. And I'm interested to know, just from the athlete side, in your mind, was that more of a technical change that you would attribute most of that time to, or was it like a physical transformation, or a bit of both?
I would say it was a bit of both, because I feel like still to this day, I was like always just like a very like young athlete. Like again, like not having the coaching, like I had the ability, but I didn't really have the coaching. So like I didn't necessarily know what to do. I was just like talented.
Like just swim hard.
Yeah, right. And so then when I got to college and they were like, do this, do that, like technically in the pool, yes, I think that was like a huge deal. But also like just like the weightlifting standpoint, like when I was in high school, I did just like my coach took me aside. Like obviously I was talented. So do like basic like bodybuilding stuff. So like that's really all I did. So then again, like being Division II, like we never had a strength coach or anything, but again, like my assistant coach did all our like strength program.
Yeah.
So my freshman year, it was like still a very like basic thing, but still more than I had ever done before.
Right.
So that helped.
Was it when you started doing that, was it something you were like, oh shit, I'm good at strength training and I like this? Or how was your response?
Certain things I don't really like I feel like it's been so long I don't really remember. But certain things, like again, like I've always had like upper body strength, but I haven't been like great at squatting. So like I knew like I was all like could crush pull-ups, like strict pull-ups, like yeah, like I mean even in grade school,
We're doing
like
pull-ups today?
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Like grade school flexed arm hang record.
Nice.
Like always knew I
Also
had
28-time
Do
champion.
y'all remember like, did y'all?
Presidential fitness.
Yes, dude.
Yes, with
Did you win?
the reach and the hold, all
I
that
never
stuff.
won, but I'm glad you guys did well.
I tried to crush that for sure.
Yeah, that was fun.
So, all right. So freshman year, they kind of start like, you know, slowly turning on the spigot in terms of strength training for you.
Yes.
And then take me through those next 3 years. How did things change? How does training evolve? And how does it impact your performance?
I think what really helped me is like somehow, for whatever reason, like every year, something changed. Like they introduced something new. So like my body was never getting used to what we were doing. Like it's always something new. So like I said, it was basic strength training, I would say, my freshman year, which was more than I had been doing. So that was great. And then I think it was the next year, my sophomore year, we actually started doing CrossFit, but she would just like make up CrossFit workouts. Like if they sounded hard, great, we're doing it.
Yeah,
like
got it.
just like complete chaos. Like some of the dry lane workouts would be like an hour long of just straight movement, like crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like kind of.
How are you on dry land? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's kind of. You ever seen a swimmer train on the?
I'm a sprinter, so
Yeah.
some of the distance swimmers
It's
not
different.
so great, but sprinters I feel like are a little bit more athletic.
You're all right.
Yeah. So that was like a fun change, like, and I excelled with that. So I think that helped. And then my junior year, we got like a new coach. So then she brought something completely new in, and it was kind of like a mixture of strength training and CrossFit. And I was like doing stuff on my own. Like I'd go home on the summer and just train by myself because we didn't have a group to swim with at home or up at school. So I just like ride my bike or run or like just do whatever I can that was different.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was just like always adding something new and different in that helped me so much.
Do you feel like that's a part of your person? Like, do you get bored doing the same things, or do you seek out new stuff, or are you someone who can
I feel like
show
I'm
up with the
in
lunch pail and just?
I feel like I'm in between because I do like doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I love a routine,
Right.
but I do get bored.
Got it.
So yeah, it's
Sounds like you like what routine affords you, but not too much. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have tremendous success in college, and then I want to dig into, well, first of all, what prompted the decision to say, once college was over, I want to try and throw my hat in the ring for Olympic trials?
So I graduated college in 2011, and obviously I grew up watching Olympic trials on TV. Like that's every little kid's dream of whatever sport you do is like making it to that level. But like I said, like going into college, I was never dreamed that I would ever be at that level. But I dropped so much time in college. I realized my senior year, so Olympic swimming is long course, and I had never even like swam long course. Like again, like I was just so young in the sport. So I didn't even know like what my long course times would be. But there's like a time converter online. So the times that I went short course, my senior year, like converted to a qualifying time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to keep training for a year and try to make it in 2012. So I ended up moving actually down here to Texas. I was in San Antonio for grad school. So I was coaching and kind of still trying to train and this and that and kind of going through a lot of changes, and ended up missing Olympic trials in 2012, which was like absolutely devastating because like my college goal was to be a national champion because like I said, I didn't get that in high school.
Right.
Ended up coming in second at national championship.
Brutal.
So I had like kind of that in my head as like a failure. And then like I missed, like I was like, okay, I'm going to redeem myself by like making Olympic trials in 2012. And then like I missed that. And it was just like absolutely devastating. So then I got the opportunity to go train and work at an Olympic training site in Ohio. And that gave me the opportunity to keep training for 2016. And I was like, well, that seems a little crazy, but I also like didn't have my head on my shoulders and like maybe went through like an eating disorder type deal, like not really knowing it at the time, but just like kind of life stuff at that age, like 22. So I was like, okay, like I'll do it. And being an Olympic training site, like I had access to like a sports psychologist, like all this stuff, like went through all that and kind of like dealt with all that.
Yeah.
So I ended up qualifying for 3 events in 2016. So that was like a dream come true, right?
Yeah.
So that was like super cool. Ended up 27th in my best event at 2016 trials. So I was like,
What's your best event?
the 50 free. That's what I went to for trials this past summer.
Oh, cool.
50 free, what's your go-to? What are you doing?
Like 25 seconds, long course.
Jesus Nice.
Thought you were asking what stroke. I was like,
Zach, you know what my favorite clothing brand is?
tell me.
It's Legends. I've been wearing it for a long time. From training to lifestyle, Legends has got you covered.
So what kind of gear does Legends have?
You can get shirts, shorts, underwear, socks, tops and bottoms, hoodies, hats, sweats. They've got it all. And they just dropped an entire women's line.
Holy smokes.
I know.
Tim, the great thing about these tees, I found I'm 20% stronger rocking them when I train.
Speaking of 20%, that's how much you save when you go to legends.com and enter in promo code coachemup or click the link below. I just got my new watch from Amazfit. It's called the T-Rex 3. And this is the best watch I've ever had in my life.
This is a $1,000 watch. Getting it $279, which is ridiculous.
Which is
value.
absurd. It just looks good, dude. Military grade stainless steel, AI voice control, water resistant up to 100 meters. It tracks your heart rate. It has maps.
Battery life, dude. Once every 27 days.
Yep.
That's incredible.
The selection that I have for my watch faces, my heart rate, how many steps I've taken.
The UV index.
UV index is important for your boy. I use my watch as a stopwatch all the time. As if all that wasn't good enough, you get a discount because you're listening and watching us. 15%, dude. Amazfit.com/coachemup, or you can click the link below. 15% off. The best watch on the planet. Now, back to the episode. I've trained some swimmers, particularly former swimmers, and they are all sickos. And what I mean is that their threshold
Yeah.
for training, like intensity,
Yeah.
is absolutely insane. Max, he's the first person that comes to mind. He swam in Iowa. I made a training program for him. This is a client I had 2 years ago. And he was like, all right, so what's next? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I'm, throughout the process of you making trials, first of all, congratulations. That's a huge
Thank
accomplishment
you.
as well. Were you training yourself outside of the pool? Like what did that look like?
In 2016?
Yes.
No. So I mean, it's a long story, so I skipped over some of that. So at one point, like I said, I lived in Kansas City for a little while and was training out there from the Olympic. My coach got fired at the Olympic training site. And so I moved from Ohio and was living in Kansas City training there with a pretty high level coach. And then I wanted to move back home-ish. So that's when I started training with WVU because I knew the coach from swimming there in high school here and there, and they allowed me to just like drop in and train. And so they're like, if you want to make this like a permanent thing, like you're welcome to train with us as like a post grad. And I was like, that would be awesome. Like,
Deal.
yeah, cool.
God, that's awesome.
For sure. So I started training with them leading up to trials in 2016 and working with, he used to be the strength coach of whatever. I'm not sure which team he worked with at WVU, but he had opened his own like weightlifting center. So he's like a big strongman kind of guy.
Okay.
But one of the other kids that was training for trials at the time at WVU was also working with him.
Okay.
So I started working with him as well.
Nice.
But as a swimmer, I only weightlifted like twice a week and swam like 2 times a day, 3 times, like a lot, like
20 sessions.
swimmers
a week.
swim. Yeah. Like
So
swimmers swim a lot.
that was going to be my next question, actually. So for people who don't have an understanding of the amount of time in the pool it takes and just the time commitment in general, to get to the level you're able to make Olympic trials, can you take us through like what a week looks like for someone who's competing at a high level in swim?
So obviously my view of that has changed, and I don't even know if like my story leading up to trials this past time around. But training as a swimmer, I was doubling, so 4 hours a day in the pool on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would swim in the morning, lift in the afternoon. So it was still like 4 hours of work on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then just a morning session, swim 2 hours on Saturday. And I'm a sprinter. So, and I was still putting in like, depending on if I was doubling or what it was, 3 to 6 miles in the pool a day.
Jesus, dude.
Good God. What was your diet like? Holy shit.
Well, that's like part of it. Like also swimming back in 2016, like I am so much faster now than I was then, but I was also 15 pounds lighter than I am now.
Were you
Just
wildly
because-
under eating?
I mean, I just, not on purpose, but I just like could not keep up with how much you have to eat for burning that many, like, and I have a high metabolism to begin with. So like somebody like that, you just have to eat so much and it becomes miserable.
Right. Well,
It's
yeah,
not
it's actually
enjoyable.
fucking miserable.
Yeah, like it would take me an hour. To
Well,
eat my
I mean,
dinner.
everyone's
Like,
familiar with You know,
Yeah,
Michael
wait,
fucking Phelps. Well, Michael Phelps, literally,
But
he
that's
would
so
eat like a
real.
whole
Like-
fucking bag of Cheetos
You
and
have,
like
like-
all kinds of other shit
You
just
have to
to
resort to,
maintain.
like,
When was
eating
the
shit.
aha moment when you're like, I'm under fueling? This is what I need to do to, you know, take my recoverability to the next level.
So luckily I did realize like in 2012, like I would go to a practice like that, like swimming like 4 miles, and then I'd go home and have like a smoothie for dinner. Like my hair was falling out. Like it was not good. My coach would like
Me too. I get
make
it. That's what happened.
Hell yeah.
sorry, it didn't grow back.
Yeah, me too. Tough deal. Go on.
Yeah, but my coach was like, I mean, you're just like you have so much talent and you're just getting rocked in the water because you don't weigh anything. Like you're just like a feather. So I like tried and tried, but I don't. It's just, I mean, that kind of stuff doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while. So,
Yeah.
but luckily by the time I was like, again, like saw the sports psychologist, like did all this, was just in a really great supportive area when I was in Ohio at the Olympic training site. Things started to turn around, and then. So luckily now, as I'm older and was training a little bit more, like I was like, okay, like I need to eat. And he was also like, okay, you have to put on weight if you want to be like super competitive and get to that level, because you're just not big enough to like compete against these girls.
Yeah.
So I was like trying as hard as I could. Like I said, just like eating bars, like this and that, like trying to put on weight. So,
Yeah.
and he would like, we'd go to meets and he would like make me eat.
That's something I've run into with female athletes over and over. And it's, you know, I'm in recovery from, you know, outside issues, not food. But I've worked in treatment, and the conversation with food. So I'm very aware of how disordered eating can show up and how much more prevalent it is in women's sports and female athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And having those conversations about food, you have to be careful. Zach, I'm sure you can speak to this as well. And it's something that I've seen firsthand as well. You know, Kelly's very, you know, when she was playing in college, she was wildly underweight. And the reason why is because she didn't want to get too bulky or have too much muscle or whatever. But she's, you know, soccer practice 2-3 hours a day, strength training, and fucking killing herself.
Yeah.
You know? What's been the process like working through all that? And what's your relationship like with it now today?
It wasn't, I don't even know how it happened, to be honest. And like looking back on it, I didn't really realize that it was an issue until after the fact, I guess.
Like in hindsight, you were like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, that probably wasn't. But I like, my senior year of college, I never had any issues throughout college. Like I've always been thin. It was always fine. Like don't remember really thinking anything of it. And then like swimming was over and we were all graduating. So we were like partying a lot, kind of going out, eating a lot of chicken wings. So I feel like
Listen, I said I'm sober, you know, listen.
so like having a lot of fun. And then I moved down to Texas and I was like trying to get back into training again after like
Yeah.
a few months of like partying pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like that's when it happened that I was like, oh, like I don't look the way I used to look. Like I got to get back into this.
yeah.
And then like I just wasn't in a good situation down here. So I don't want to say I was depressed, but just wasn't a good situation. So I don't know if I was just like, that was the way I dealt with it.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a lot. But looking back on it, like I have no problem eating absolutely anything now. But now I'm like, shoot, I wish I could lose a couple pounds.
It's hard in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
It is.
At first-
Again,
So
like
funny.
I moved down here and I was like, okay,
I gained 15 pounds. when I
Fucking
first-
reel it in, man.
Not
seriously.
good 15.
Yeah.
No, I literally, was talking to Kelly the other day. I was like, I stepped on the scale and it said 236. I was like, I'm the most I've ever weighed.
Yeah, me too. Not a good deal.
And she goes, wait, what'd you weigh just a little while ago? I was like, I was 223 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? You know, I can tell you what's going on. I've been eating good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real good.
I spent the month of July down here, like looking for somewhere to live. So I was like going out there. Then I was like, realized I was moving. So I went home, was like, had to go out with my friends to say like the goodbye tour, all this stuff.
Yes.
And I moved down here and it was like
The
one thing
goodbye
after another.
tour. Yeah. The month-long goodbye tour. Yeah, hell yeah. Good.
Like you already left. Like, come on. It's been a month.
Right.
Aren't you supposed to leave?
Yeah. Oh, you're back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got down here. It was like one weekend after another. There was always something going on. And I was like, okay,
That is
I
a
need to
thing
stay
here.
home.
It's like the back-to-back ACL weekends, and then there's 2 weekends prior to that. There's events as well.
Oh, yeah.
I
Austin
what
from
they are.
basically September to October, it's the hardest thing ever to not.
It's a
gain
gauntlet.
I
weight.
moved here. I went to ACO.
Oh, yeah.
Then it was like Formula One. Or maybe
Yeah.
That's it.
But
Yeah. That's what it
and
is.
It was just like, and then my friend came to visit. My sister-in-law came to visit. I was like, I'm cutting
I'm the
myself
same way.
off.
Yes.
We have to go
I
here.
can't
We
go
have to eat
outside.
this.
Yeah. No
I
one
need
called
to
my
lock
phone.
in. I
Yes.
need to log back in and get to the gym.
Yeah, Austin will do that to you. All right, so you make Olympic trials, and then you've been training for, and that was in 16.
Yes.
And then you just attempted trials this past year, correct? Too. So what happens from then till now?
So trials in 2016, I was actually engaged, and my fiance was not on board with the whole swimming career thing. So after 16, like I had a great ending. So it felt like, okay, like I guess I need to move on from this now. So I quit swimming, and that's when I like had picked up CrossFit. I tried going to the gym and just doing like strength training stuff, got bored. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try this CrossFit thing. And then found out he wasn't really on board with that either, or anything else that I did. So obviously I'm not married. So
Right, it didn't work
it
out.
didn't work out. So anyway, moved all around, but still doing CrossFit. Hadn't swam just because I was like, okay, I like CrossFit's fun. I'm on land. I don't have to get wet. I can talk to people. I can laugh. Like, okay, we're just going to put swimming like on the back burner for now. So did CrossFit for a while and was just like training. But like you said, swimmers have like such a high tolerance for like training.
They're
People
probably
be
pretty
like,
good at it.
what are you training like for? And I'm like, I'm just working
Life?
out.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Sure to have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, I was so like just enjoyed working out for a few years. And then, like I said, people would always ask like what I was training for. So I was like, you know what? Like I'm pretty good at, like, I'm not great at anything, but I'm like pretty good at everything. So I was like, maybe I'll try to like make a competition, because there's a big CrossFit competition that has like a swimming event. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to do anything, I'm doing this one. And I'm
Nice.
gonna, like, rock this swimming event. So ended up like started training for that. And then I added swimming once a week back into my routine, just like in case I made, just as like recovery. So I was swimming like 2 grand, which is like a mile and a half of swing compared to what I was doing before.
I love how she calls that recovery.
Yeah, that would barely.
I would fucking drown in the pool. Yeah.
So that was recovery, and I was just doing CrossFit 5 days a week and swimming once. And it was actually one weekend my friends were out of town, and there was like a little local swim meet, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like jump in on this meet and like see how I do.
So wait, you like snuck away and didn't tell anyone, and you went and
Like, where are my goggles and head cap? Let's do this.
Yes. I text because the coach that I trained under in 2016 was still the coach, and I was like, "Hey, can I get in this meet?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." I mean, it was just like high school kids, right? Like,
Okay.
kids. He's like, "Yeah, we can sign you up." And so I'm like, "Okay, well, I haven't like raced since 2016, but it's just a 50, right?" Like,
Did
I
you
can
have
do
some like
anything.
old box in the corner of your room? You put all your swimming relics in, and you're like, I'm done with swimming in there, and
Yes.
you're like, oh.
Yeah. No, it's so this is actually a super funny story. So I go swim in this meet, and I'm like, went a time that I would have went back into like under the qualifying time for 2016 Olympic trials. And I was like,
got it.
oh shit.
so it ended up being like I was super close to qualifying for the national championship. So I was literally wearing, in the morning I had wore like a racing suit, but it was like my suit from 2016, and these suits only last like one meet.
Yeah.
So it could have like disintegrated.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
a big following
I mean,
from
we
there.
don't know what's gonna happen 6 years later. So I actually
That's how I got my following on Instagram.
went viral. So I ended up borrowing a suit from another girl, and ended up qualifying for national championships 6 years later, like swimming once a week.
Whoa.
So yeah, long story short, I qualified for 2006 or 2024 Olympic trials swimming once a week and doing CrossFit 6 days a week.
That's fucking wild.
I know. It's
So,
crazy.
all right. I have a lot of questions. Well, okay. What, in your opinion, how does that happen? Like,
God, number one, because even still to this day, like I go swim once a week and I'm like, I have no idea how I did that because I feel like shit. Like I do not feel fast at all. Like the people I swim with are probably like this. There's no way this girl went to Olympic trials. Like she's not.
Shout out to God.
yeah, big shout out God everywhere, dude.
Yes. But no, just
That
like
was top 3. that was a
pretty
top
good,
3
right?
shout out.
Yeah.
That was really good.
that's funny. But honestly, just like so much stronger. Like I said, I've put on a lot of weight. And
Yeah.
so I feel like I was finally at that point that I needed to be, like my coach had tried to get me to back then. So it was just like time away and
Yeah.
just
And just being, was that the strongest you'd ever been?
yes. I mean, like I said, I didn't really focus. I did strength training to supplement my swimming, but it was never
Right.
like 1 rep max this. Like I wasn't focused on numbers in the weight room
Got it.
necessarily. Other than like my pull-up, my strict pull-up. No,
Obviously pull up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean,
obviously pull-up.
come on. Pause, time out. What is your strict pull-up PR?
20.
Wow.
But that was from back then. I haven't been able to hit because I'm bigger now.
So it's only
working on it.
18 now.
Listen, that is a problem only a jacked person can relate to. So you're in rare air. That's a good problem. Yeah.
Yes.
Good for you.
So yeah, I'm just like so much stronger now than I was before. So it's like pretty cool, but also like I started going to these swim meets. Like I'd been out of it for so long, which
Yeah.
was kind of helpful because I went in, I was like, I don't know who any of these people are. Like I know they're fast because they're here, but
Right.
at the same time, like I don't
Kind of like a fresh start.
yeah, I was like, I don't know who this person is, so I'm not intimidated by anybody here.
Yeah.
And I haven't swam in forever, so whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So if anything, like I went to this summer national meet and I kind of debated because it was in California. So I'm like, am I going to spend like all this money to fly across country? This is only going to be my second race in 6 years. Like, was that a fluke? Like, am I going to go out here and embarrass myself?
Right.
Like, I don't know. And then I was like, I had like a sponsorship opportunity. And I was like, okay, like I kind of have to do this. Like, why wouldn't I?
Now
do
I
this?
have to swim. Yeah.
Money's
I was
cool.
like, why wouldn't I try this? Like, whatever. So I'll just do it. I'm like, it'll be fun. Like, I love California. I'm swimming outside. It'll be amazing. So I went out and I ended up like qualifying for Olympic trials, going my fastest time ever. So
Fastest time ever.
lifetime best by like a significant amount. And so I was like, holy crap. So then at that point, like, and if anything, like I walked on pool deck and I remember thinking like, this, like, what's going to happen here? I'm either going to embarrass myself or this is going to be great. And then like people were kind of looking at me like, who is this like girl with all the muscle here at
Right.
the pool? Like what's going on here? So it ended up really cool. I think I got 13th and everyone was like,
It's kind of cool that your
what did you
time
just
off, your time off, like showed you kind of that big missing bucket that you had because
Yeah.
you had like technique, obviously the motor to swim like that, but
Mm-hmm.
then like your supplemental bucket, you finally made it like your main bucket, and now
Yeah.
you're just absolutely crushing.
yeah, but like unintentionally, like I
Yeah.
had no plan of like ever doing that.
God, I hope I unintentionally
Do anything cool?
jump, get a 40-inch vertical. You know what I'm saying?
Stop
God, if
trying
you're
so
out,
hard.
you're listening. Yeah,
heard
we
the shout
gave
out.
you a shout out. So,
You're trying too hard.
yeah, you're right. I gotta care less. Care less. Actually, that's almost always pretty decent advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Well-
act like you've been there.
I think we would need to get the nuts and bolts of your training.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what is your training split like for the week? Is this you programming? Is it somebody else? Is it YouTube? Is it some guru you know that you need to tell us about? Go into that.
So the CrossFit program I followed was actually out of a CrossFit camp in Boston. My gym just happened to like follow that programming and they had a competitive track to follow. So I was just like following that and kind of had a relationship with them through social media and like got close with them, went to a camp up there, like competed with stuff up there. So kind of had a relationship with them. And so that was like the CrossFit side of it. But it was still like, I didn't have a coach. Like I was just following the same programming everybody else in my gym was following. And it just so happened, so the CrossFit Games are in August. And that year the national champions were literally the week before the CrossFit Games. So like the strength
Oh, it
program
was
like
perfect.
tapered perfectly for,
Whoa.
yes, it just like, I didn't
Nice.
have to change anything. Like it literally ran together perfectly. So I was like, oh great, I can just keep doing this. Like this is great. So in the meantime, like I said, I was trying to get stronger, but I'm not great at squatting. So I had started working with a physical therapist that also worked with CrossFit, a couple CrossFit friends that I had.
Got it.
To like work on squat stuff. And so I was doing both, just following that and making up my own swim practices because I was only swimming once a week. So I was like, and I've never been like, I've coached before, but I've never felt super confident in the coaching role. But I was like, okay, like I'm just going to hop in and like like swimming is so much of swimming is feel for the water. So I was like, I'm just going to do some drills, like, and then some sprints and I think I'm good. So that's, I was just like making up my own practices. So then there was another swim meet the following summer, national championships that I went to. And this time it was earlier in the year because it was world championships. So it was in like June. So I was still in like the middle of like a heavy strength cycle. And I tried to go to this meet and race. And I was just like my time wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as sharp.
You feel flat.
Yes. And so that's when I decided like, okay. And I was also running into like some overuse stuff just because CrossFit's so intense.
Yeah.
Some shoulder issues and stuff. And I've never had any injuries. So I was like, okay. Like at one point, like, and I was just doing something stupid like dumbbell snatches. Like it felt fine. And then I couldn't bend over for a month.
Oh, classic.
And I was like, okay, like I'm not trying to mess this up. Like I'd qualified for trials already. So I was like, okay. So my physical therapist took over because he works for other athletes and stuff. So he took over and I started to move to more like swimming specific stuff. So more like plyometrics and isometrics and like all the shitty banded stuff and like the stuff that's not fun.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's our stuff.
Yeah, that's your stuff. Yeah. Stuff that's not fun. But it makes you better. So
It does.
it
yes.
does, yeah. So started doing that stuff for about a year and still just jumping on CrossFit when I felt like it. But I wanted to swim more because when you go to these national level meets, you swim prelims and finals. So between like warming up, racing, cooling down twice a day, I was like swimming more to competition than I was like training. So I was like, I just feel like I would like to swim a little bit more. And plus I felt like I wasn't doing as much in the gym because I'd go in and like do like plyometrics and stuff like that. And I wasn't like sweating or like pushing. It's different.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
Like
you know what I mean?
CNS, not
It's
like
totally,
muscle fatigue.
Like,
it is totally
I wasn't
different.
dying on the floor after workout, so
Right.
I felt like I wasn't doing anything, but I obviously was.
Right.
So that's when I started. The coach from WVU offered to let me swim with them again.
Wow.
So I started swimming with the college team, which was like a lot because these kids are literally 15 years younger than me at this
Right.
point. And I was like full-fledged in a swim practice, like organized swim practice that was like,
You're like legit practicing with them.
yes.
D1, Power 5 swim practice.
Yes. And so, and I hadn't swam in years. Like I didn't train like that anymore.
Right.
So like the first couple months I was like, shit, like what did I do? Like, can I do this? Like, I mean, it was bad. And it was like, it was hard not to compare myself to like knowing the kind of times that I would hold in a practice before.
Yes.
And like these kids are like shitting on me the first
How'd you
couple
deal with that
months.
being like older? Because this happens to us all the time. Like I'll compare numbers from when I was like 26 and now I'm 35.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And I still think I can be 26-year-old Zach.
Right.
Like what are some different things you had to do in order to, participate in practice at a high level? Would you have to cut out volume or what
I
would that
did,
be?
which was also like pretty hard for me as well. Cause like being an athlete, like you would never get out of practice early. Like you would never like give up on something or get out early or do less, So it was like, again, like I was running into shoulder issues and I was like, okay, like I have got to reel it in. Like I have to like get over it. And if I have to get out early, like I have to remember that I am 15 years plus older than some of these kids. And like sometimes we'd have practice at like I'd have an afternoon practice where I'd get out of at 5 and then we'd have practice again at 6 a.m. And that turnaround when you're 34, 35 is tough. So it was like a lot of really focusing on like recovery more so than I ever did before, like ice baths and hot tub and stretching and eating enough. And so.
Dude, how fucking cool is it that you got to do that though?
Yeah,
Like,
it's still so crazy to me. Like
that's incredible. Like I'm thinking to myself, like, what if I was like, I'm going to try out for a
Sark
football.
called you.
And the Texas staff was like,
We
yeah, I
need
mean,
you, Riley.
you can just come practice with us.
Riley, we need you.
First of all, I would not last a day without being horribly injured.
You'd hope it was like a no pad walkthrough. Maybe,
No, there was-
maybe you'd have a chance.
I'm just talking about the training regimen.
Oh, yeah.
There's no chance I'm putting pads on.
No,
Let's be clear. We'll be
I just
fully
wanted
concussed.
to see you out there. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, just one of those D linemen just pile driving me into the earth. Just be reliving high school football over again, actually. Yeah.
This is fun, Dad.
Did you play other sports growing up?
I mean, when I was really little, I did gymnastics. Probably the one that I stuck with the longest was gymnastics.
How long did you do that for?
Maybe until I was like 6 or 7, but I was doing swimming and gymnastics at the same time, so I had to drop it out.
So this makes sense. You got the motor from swimming, you got the good body awareness, mobility from gymnastics, and you found CrossFit, and now you're a cyborg machine.
You literally
I don't know about that.
a fucking weapon of a human being. Zach, guess what?
Dude, tell me.
We have partnered with Atlantis Strength. Atlantis Strength is by far the best machine equipment I have ever used. From high school, collegiate, and pro athletes, machines are underutilized. What Atlantis has done in terms of the build quality and reliability of these machines has made it effortless for me to be able to transition athletes where their output and intents can be as high as possible. You can learn more about Atlantis Strength on their website and their Instagram page. Type in Atlantis Strength. I'm such a huge fan and we're incredibly grateful.
Tim, do you take supplements?
As a matter of fact, I do.
What brand do you take?
Legion. Legion has everything you want in supplements and nothing that you don't. So no artificial dyes, sweeteners. It's 100% real, from a whey isolate all the way to their non-stem pre-workout, which I absolutely love. Get the peach flavor. You'll thank me later. There's absolutely no filler. The only things that you're getting are the clinically effective dosages. Use code coachemup for 20% off your first order. You're going to get loyalty points, which is going to reduce the price every time you buy. Go hit up Legion today. Code coachemup.
The Coach 'em Up podcast is sponsored by Squat Wedgies. Tim, what are Squat Wedgies?
Squat wedgies are an adjustable squat wedge, 7, 13, and 20 degrees.
It's big enough to elevate your whole foot and not just your heel.
Because it's rubber, it doesn't slide on surfaces.
It's 22 pounds, so it's durable and stable enough for even your biggest athletes.
There's a 90-day risk-free trial. The shipping is free, and
Get 15% off Squat Wedgies with our discount code CoachEmUp15.
coachemup15 for 15% off of the best squat wedge on the planet. Yeah, how old are you?
35.
35?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all
She said not to ask that before.
yeah, literally beforehand, she was like, yeah, the only thing off limits is don't talk about my age. If you bring it up, I'm going to fucking kick your ass after the podcast. No, she didn't say that. So you were 35 and you were practicing against college kids?
Yeah, part-time, which might have made it worse because I wasn't swimming enough to like actually get in swimming shape, and I wasn't in the gym enough to like be in gym shape.
So you were just showing up to suffer. They're like,
literally, I'm not
this
kidding.
chick loves the pain, dude. Yes.
I mean, it was a shitty like year. Like leading up to trials is like, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm in shape anymore, but I'm sore and I'm tired and I'm trying my best. So we're just going with it.
And then you crushed it.
Well, I did all right.
Okay.
I didn't do as well as I wanted to, but I was there and I did great. So
Okay.
I was like the second oldest woman there. So
That's pretty cool.
That is
Is swimming one of those sports you can get better as you age, or is it kind of like this certain age gap is when you should be at your prime?
I mean, definitely most people were at their prime. I would say like girls 25, 24 to 26 probably. But like, again, the only other woman that was older than me, she was also, I think she was like an Olympian back in the day, but she was also going like lifetime best times.
What?
She was like 40, she was like 41, I think. So she was like still a good bit older than me.
Dang.
She's crushing it.
That's
So
wild, dude. Some people are just different.
Yeah. 40 doing that? That's
yeah,
wow.
that was super impressive.
All right, so I want to dig in more to your time in CrossFit, and I'm imagining you, because you mentioned dying on the floor and sort of like gasping for breath. Did you compete?
A little bit. I don't love competing in CrossFit naturally because it's obviously so different than swimming.
Yeah.
So swimming, you obviously have your event that you're spending every waking second honing in on. And then CrossFit, like you don't know what the events are at a competition till like a week before.
So you like randomness in training, but competition, you better know what the hell you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing though is it's never lacking effort.
No.
Like it's like I get the vibe when you show up. Like when you go to the CrossFit workout, you're like, I'm gonna fucking win today. Like, is that the energy you're bringing?
You can say it. None of them are listening.
Yeah.
Yes. It was funny because all my friends, like when I first like started taking, they're like, "Oh, I beat the Olympian today." I'm like, "Well, number one, I'm not quite an Olympian."
First of all, you shut your fucking mouth. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it well.
Yeah.
What?
That's
No, so I did compete a little bit in CrossFit, but I'm not like a CrossFit Games athlete by any means. But I did the competitions that I wanted to do. So competition I talked about earlier that had the swimming event.
Yeah.
I got to do that one. So that was fun. Knocked that off the list. So
Nice.
yeah.
What do you think made you so competitive and have that drive? Was there like a coach or parent or someone early on that kind of instilled that competitive nature in you, or was it kind of born with it?
I have an older brother.
Okay.
So
How far apart are y'all?
he's 7 years older than me.
Okay.
But we always used to like, I don't know, like have fun outside growing up, like doing stuff like that. And I always just wanted to be just like him, but also just always swimming with people older than me and like never being the best.
Yeah.
You know, so just like always wanting to be the best, but never getting to be the best.
Yeah.
Like a blessing and a curse.
Right.
You know?
People
Like,
know this environment.
Yeah. It's like you have like now you have like a crippling complex, but also you've been able to attain and achieve a lot.
Yes,
Very
right.
relatable. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
That's funny. Yeah, but my mom, I mean, my parents definitely pushed me when I was younger, but like, not. I know like some people were their parents were so forceful, like they hate their sport now. But I don't remember this, but my mom always tells me this story that one time I got beat in a race when I was little and I was crying, and she told me not to cry because there was always going to be somebody better than me, which is true. Maybe a little harsh.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes you hear that. Yeah.
yeah, so.
Did she shove you back into the pool after that and tell you to run the whole race again, or?
Probably. Yeah.
I wonder, like some of those lessons about like constantly kind of like, you know, like playing up and being really good, but never being able to be the best simply because you were like, is that a theme that is that drive and sort of chip on your shoulder or something that transcends athletics for you? Like, is that a personality trait?
Yeah, but I would say that. Like, I feel like even like in 2016, I said I was engaged and he wasn't really on board with, and I feel like most people like that would be crumbling for them. Mm-hmm. And not that it wasn't like crumbling for me. Like, obviously you want people supportive around you, but it was more so like, I'm going to fucking show you.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me I can't
Right.
do it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know? So it's like, it sucked going through that. But at the same time, like, I loved having that, like, just that drive of like proving people wrong.
And you did.
Yeah. So
The best way to get me to do anything is tell me I can't
can't
do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you can't do the laundry. No. Yo, I'll do it.
Fuck you! I'll do the
clean the
laundry.
dishes.
I'm gonna do it so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. It's like one of those things.
I will admit that I employ that with my daughter.
Yeah.
From time
you
to
probably
time.
can't do it.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, listen, if you feel like you're too young to
Yeah. Probably big girls would be
finish
able
this
to do
basketball
that.
game, then that's okay. I totally understand. You can come sit with Dad on the bench. She'd be like, oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah, you probably are. Get your ass back in there.
Hey, let's go into, I want to hear about diet and everything. Because, like, I noticed since I've gotten older, I can't just be eating chicken wings and light beer all the time. I have
Yeah.
to mix in some veggies and whatnot. What does your eating regimen look like? Are you pretty structured, or is it just kind of fly by the seat of your pants still?
So I've never been like, the idea of chicken, rice, and broccoli literally makes me gag just talking about it. So I've never been like one of those huge like meal prep people. That's just not how I can live my life. Like, that makes eating even worse for me. But I had never worked with a nutritionist ever. But I have a nutrition coach now that I've been working with for a couple years, and ended up actually getting my nutrition certification like a year ago.
Nice.
And getting offered a job with the same company. So I'm getting started in that. But she actually helped me a lot. Like,
What were some things that she opened your eyes to, I guess?
so she's a CrossFit athlete herself, like CrossFit Games, highest level.
Oh, shit.
So, and I told her, like, I want to be better at CrossFit. And she's like, well, like, even when I started working with her, I was probably like 10 pounds lighter. So she's like, well, if you want to get stronger, like, you have to put on weight. So it was kind of like, I would have never chosen to eat that much myself, but
Right.
having like the accountability from her telling me I needed to eat that much and like
Yeah.
counting macros and stuff like that, which I had never done before, that kind of helped me a lot. But even still, it was like, I don't know about eating this much.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Did
she's
your
like,
carb intake literally triple from what you
well,
were doing?
I like always eaten a lot of carbs anyway, but it was more so like the fat side of it. Like, I used to be pretty lean, and she's like, okay, we need a little bit more fat in your diet, which is probably healthier for me as a
Right.
woman. So the carb intake wasn't that bad because I've always been a carb girl, being a swimmer. So that wasn't hard to hit, but just like the volume of food. Yeah. So still kind of like maintaining that. But I feel like I'm not, now that I'm not swimming as much anymore. It's been a little bit lighter, but
That's a lot of miles.
So what's on the horizon next for you?
I don't know. I've just kind of been hanging out and enjoying, like I told you, enjoying training. Like if I want to take a Saturday to go run or walk my dog, like I can do that. Like not having the commitment to anything right now has been nice. But definitely staying in shape for whatever I decide to do next. So I'm not sure. I was telling him I've been thinking about running the Austin half.
No, full.
Then he was trying to tell me to do the full.
Full.
I think I'm out of time to start
You are in
training for
shape.
that.
You could run a half marathon yesterday.
I
Yes,
remember
that's true.
you ran the Austin Marathon.
Yeah, and look, I'm not a runner type. Just do it. You're a psycho. You're in shape. Do it. Just you don't even care about time you finish. You'll finish in a good time just because
Yeah,
you're a
you're
sicko.
just a weapon of a human, but
But just do the whole thing.
But that's like just, I mean, how long does that take?
3 hours and 43 minutes if you're pretty good.
That's my goal time.
Yeah. 42.
42.
Yeah.
You talked me into it.
So that long, huh?
That's pretty long, isn't it?
Yeah, it did take you a while.
Yeah, I don't know if like running for that long is like that enjoyable.
Just check it off your list. Just check it off your
is.
list. And then go back to doing whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
How many days a week are you training currently right now then?
6.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still a lot. Is it mostly CrossFit?
Yeah, I swim on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Sometimes Saturdays, we'll see. Saturdays, I just do what I want. If I want to swim, I swim. If I want to come in
Nice.
here, I do that.
Okay.
If I want to just like go for a long walk, I'll do that. But just move on Saturdays. But I don't know. I've been kind of like into like the bodybuilding side of things. Like sometimes CrossFit, I'll like look at the workout and if I like it, I'll do it. But if I don't, I'm like, what else can I do?
Got
today?
it. Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So selfishly, I want to know, you said you weren't good at squatting, but what's your best back squat?
Now, I should have told you that's what I didn't want to talk about.
Too bad. Too bad.
Literally
Too bad.
her face when
She
her
got
face.
pissed.
Yeah. She said,
Why are you trying to embarrass me on this
what?
podcast?
I don't think it's going to be embarrassing.
No, it is. I could probably, if I was good, I could probably push jerk as much as I back squat. I'm not lying.
Wow. Well, what do you back squat?
Like 225.
Yeah, shut up.
That's
You're good.
really good. Do you know that?
Listen,
You're
this is
good.
so funny because
You
I literally
compare
text all my
yourself
friends.
too.
Everyone here thinks I'm so strong. I text my friends. I'm like, everyone here thinks I'm so strong. I'm not that strong.
I was having a conversation downstairs. I trained today and I was squatting and my buddy Seth came up to me. He's also a trainer and coach. And he was like, at this gym, we're like pretty strong people, but at other gyms,
yeah.
we're just so weak. And I'm like, I know.
We'll have guests coming all the time, and people think Tim and I are pretty strong, and we're not.
Yeah. Yeah. We have guests come
No one
on
has
and
to
like
know that.
someone like Will Rattel hang cleaning 405 easily. Just
That's crazy.
that's absurd.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he's an
Deborah and I
extreme
think.
example, maybe. Okay. But 225 is good.
No, it's not. You don't have to like lie to me.
I'm not
You've already
lying. It's
embarrassed me. We don't have
That's
to
good.
look it up.
Zach, right now, what's the most someone on your basketball, your collegiate
Yeah,
basketball?
you do
team
better
squat?
than them, and especially if we're going to go body weight ratio. Yeah, you'd blow them out of the water.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
We got to get her through the combine testing, see the vertical approach jump.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just had like the Rocky montage music in my mind and her just like literally like bench press test. I bet you fucking crushed that bench press test, dude.
I have a pretty good bench press.
Yeah.
for
What is
my
it?
size. 160.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's real good.
Really good. That's really good.
And then so you said overhead press is your best lift?
Yeah.
What is it?
I've never done I haven't tested a 1 rep for a while.
Okay. Well, what's your best double? I know you know.
No, I don't.
You don't know?
No, the most single I've probably done safely, like I haven't been trying, like I know I can hit it, is
Okay.
like 205 for a push jerk. I don't know about a split jerk.
That's pretty good.
I don't know if I can do that right now.
I can't. That's why we're not doing a train them up.
A jerk? You could do that.
No.
Mobility, old.
This left shoulder.
What
I don't
yeah,
know,
what else do
dude.
I want?
I couldn't log out.
Let's get in these. These are
Let's do it, dude. All right. Do you want to?
You rip the first one.
All right, I will. All right. So we're going to get into some segments. Okay.
These are our favorite part.
We've gotten better. We've gotten better. All right. So this segment is called 3 Things. This is brought to you by Squat Wedgies. You use code coachemup15 at checkout for 15% off. The best damn squat wedges on the planet. All right. So 3 things. What are 3 things that someone, let's say there's a young athlete out there, a young swimmer, and they're in high school or they're on the precipice of taking it to the collegiate level. What are 3 pieces of wisdom, knowledge, advice that you would give them to take their training or their swimming ability to the next level?
Eat,
Yeah.
have fun for sure, and just do your best.
Yeah.
That feels like pretty simple, but honestly, like I feel like if you're not having fun doing it, like you're not going to be at your best or even want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I got one to piggyback off that.
Okay.
What has your experience with swimming taught you about life?
That there are a lot of highs and lows, but you just have to keep going, and the highs will eventually outweigh the lows, and there's a reason for the lows, and you might not always be able to see it, but later down the road, it all works out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good answer.
Next segment brought to you by Plyomat. CoachMup 5. I'm a little rusty. This is called Rant and Rave. We'll pick a little bit, something you can rant on, and then we'll come back with a little compliment hug, a little bit of raving. Let's talk about swim training in general. What's a big rant you have about swim training?
Like what gets on my nerves?
Yeah.
I hate when people like save. I feel like normally only guys do this. This is like such a guy thing. But like you're supposed to be going fast, but like you'll wait until like the last one, like a Sally save up, you know, like you're supposed to be holding certain paces and they just wait till the end to go super fast. And it's like, what are you doing?
And then what's a rave about swim training?
I mean, swimming's not that fun, but I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the water, your face is in the water. There's not a whole lot of time to breathe and have fun and talk, but I think it's really great for mental toughness.
Oh, I agree.
Yes.
There's no way I could be quiet for that long, especially the distance swimmers.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Couldn't talk for an hour.
No, but it's kind of fun when you like get in a groove.
Yeah.
You're, like hitting the paces.
I'm sure it is.
Is it very much so? Like, do you find yourself, it's like a flow state?
Oh yeah,
type
for
of-
sure.
Yeah.
What goes on in your head? Do you like play a song in your head, or do you just tell yourself something, or you just white noise?
I think sometimes I just black out. I mean, there's definitely like a lot of thoughts going on, but then I'm like, what was even
Yeah.
What was going through my head?
the
Yeah.
last 2 hours? What just happened?
Yeah. It's the kind of blackout that's productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like very
Productive
meditative.
blackout.
Yeah.
Yes. I have experiences with the other kind. All right. If you hadn't chose swimming, what would you have picked and why?
Gymnastics. I just think it's fun. I mean, I'm sure it's not fun, actually. If you're good at it, it's probably very tough, but fun to like swing around. Like even in CrossFit, like the gymnastics stuff's my favorite.
I would love to be able to do gymnastic stuff. Summer Olympics, that was one of my most favorite things to watch.
Yeah.
That and track, obviously.
I wish I had done gymnastics growing up just because I see what it's doing for my daughter right now and how much first of all, so much fun.
Yeah.
Them flips on the trampoline, the tumble track,
Yeah.
all that. I'm like, holy shit, that looks like so much
Could
fun.
you have Dad's Day?
Yeah, they actually, dude, they do have an adults night on
Whoa.
Wednesday nights.
Do they?
Kelly went once.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go because I already know. I'm like,
You get hurt.
I think too highly of myself. I mean, just in my what I can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
You're
like,
realistic.
can I do a backflip? Yup. Fuck yeah, I can.
You be doing it?
That's it. That's it.
Probably not.
Why? Why do I have to try? But if you put me in that situation, the want for me to try, I won't even have fun because it's like I want to try. I want to try the thing, but I can't try the thing, and then I have to like come to terms with the fact that I shouldn't be trying the thing, which I resent.
It took me a whole summer. My summer goal during COVID was do a backflip off like a boat or a raised surface.
Nice.
It took me the entire summer to do it.
I can rip a backflip.
Yeah.
dude.
I was scared for the longest
I was gonna say I
time.
hit my head off a diving board doing a
Holy
Oh,
and
yikes.
to steer clear of those.
Yeah. Well, now I'm done with that. I don't have anything to hide a big scar or anything. All right. That last segment was brought to you by Atlanta Strength.
Yes, thank you. Shout out Atlantis, the best equipment on the planet.
Amazefit.com/coachemup if you want to get a sick ass watch like
It is
this.
super sick. T-Rex 3. That's all you need to know is the name.
T-Rex 3. The lava band. It's what you want. Tim got the black one. It's kind of boring.
Whatever.
The next one is solicited advice. So you are Let's see, where are you? You're leaving swim practice. You see a college swimmer leaving, going to her car. She's fumbling with her keys, can't quite get it open, looks frustrated. You walk by her and give her just one piece of advice about anything. What would it be?
I have no idea.
You got to give her some advice. She's struggling.
She's struggling with her keys.
Yeah, but it's probably a bigger metaphor for
But
her
trying
life.
so hard.
She's probably struggling at life. I can't do anything right.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell her?
Quit trying so hard.
Care less. Care less.
Exactly. Care less. That's what we take away from this.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, she's like her, like getting on the phone the minute she gets in the car. It's like she's calling her boyfriend. It's like, I've had the worst day, and some woman just told me to care less.
He's like, you should listen to her.
Actually, babe, I've been meaning to tell you. Like, I think you're a little stressed out. You should care less.
out.
Yeah, just chill the fuck out. Caitlyn, we've had so much fun hanging out with you. Thank you for hopping on the show. Where can people find you? Where can people interact with you?
Oh, Instagram @ Kaitlyn Johnson _
Nice.
How do you spell Caitlyn?
KAITLYN.
One N.
One N.
Caitlyn, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody listening, watching, thank you so much. Many of you watch, many of you listen. Not all of you subscribe, and that makes us really fucking sad. We need you to subscribe. It's free for you. It helps us a ton, and we appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Peace.